YouTube, what is up? It is your boy Duke, back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 24 video, I'm going to break down the 3 secrets to playing lockdown man coverage defense in Madden 24. Now, we all know man coverage is very good this year, it's very effective, but you might have played some players or even seen some pros play, and you wonder to yourself, how does their man coverage work so much better than mine? Why do their defenders stick like glue to the receivers, and mine get beat when I call man? Well, the answer to this question is the 3 secrets that they know that I'm about to break down in this video so you guys can play lockdown man coverage defense too. So these tips can really be applied to any playbook. I run multiple on defense. I do recommend using some sort of nickel, dime, dollar defensive formation where you have multiple DBs on the field. It's just a fact. Defensive backs are going to play better in coverage than linebackers. It just really is proven year after year. So I'm going to start off looking at dollar. Like I said, these tips can be applied to many different formations. Dollar is just a very good defense this year, and the man coverage it offers is very good between spinner and then the cover 2-man with the safeties over the top. So the 3 principles we're going to talk about in this video, the 3 tips to make your man coverage defense better, is number 1, the difference between playing press coverage and off man coverage. Number 2, the different types of shading you need to utilize to stop different route combos. And finally, number 3, the zone drop adjustments you're going to want to use to complement your man defense. And once we go over these 3 tips, we're going to kind of mesh them all together so you can use them all at the same time to play lockdown man coverage. Now, if you like my content and you want to see more like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drop me a like on the video. At 500 likes, man, I'm going to drop another fire man coverage defense tip. And, comment. All that stuff does help me out a lot as a content creator. So the first thing we're going to go over is when to use press coverage and when to use off-man coverage. There's definitely a time and place for both. Both have their uses this year, but they need to be used in the right time. Otherwise, you can give up huge plays. So the general rule of thumb here is when you're blitzing like a cover 0 man-to-man blitz, you need to play off-man coverage. Because if you're trying to blitz, but at the same time also drop your defenders into press and just get too aggressive, like, all they really have to do offensively is potentially beat you off the line. If they beat you off the line on a streak route, a post route, any sort of just quick and easy route, and they block your blitz, it might be curtain call. It really might be a curtain call. So, like right here, the simple route combo where you have a post, a corner, a streak, any route that immediately wins is going to be a huge play against press man coverage. So if I'm blitzing, I want to make sure that I play off man coverage, and that's just going to allow me to not have to worry about the quick beaters off the line like streaks, corners, deep post. Now, yes, they can still get open later in the play if they have the time, but the thing about it is if they don't have the time, they're not even going to be able to get it off, number 1. But number 2, you don't have to worry about giving up a 1-play touchdown. So that's big. You don't want to give up big plays. You want to make the defense work. So like right here, you guys can see here, there's really nothing blatantly wide open because there's no quick wins off the press, and I'm able to get my pressure in there for a sack. Now, press coverage, don't get me wrong, it can be effective. It just needs to be used at the right time. Now, you're going to need to use press man coverage with the safeties over the top. The reason for this is this year it's not really effective to press unless you're also shading underneath. And you can't really shade underneath without the safeties back, because if you do, you're potentially giving up a 1-play touchdown. So like right here, we have the safeties back. We can shade underneath, and that just allows me to feel, more comfortable in that I know I'm not going to get beat deep, so I can be a little bit more aggressive, and I can bait over the middle. You guys can see here, there's really nothing open because the safeties are back to protect, and I'm going to end up having to just throw the ball away here. Nothing was open at all. Do you want to become a better Madden player and win more games? If so, check out my premium Madden strategy website, sportsgamers.com. I have built sportsgamers.com to provide you with the best Madden tips, best Madden ebooks and schemes, all from the pros at the lowest price possible. I have helped thousands upon thousands of Madden players improve their games, and I can help you as well. Our VIP Madden membership is our best offer yet. This membership will include all of our Madden ebooks all year long and hundreds of weekly Madden Vault tip updates to keep you ahead of the game. Click the link in the description and use coupon code DUKE for 10% off your order. The other thing you need to know about shading is you can use a combo of shading. A lot of people don't realize you can use shading up and down and then either in and out. So you guys need to know what routes are beating you. So if I'm getting beat by posts, slants, drags, etc. over the middle of the field, the best way to stop this is to use a simple shade down, shade underneath, and then also shade inside. it is simply not enough. A lot of players ask me like, hey, I'm shading inside. Why am I still getting beat by drags and posts and all those routes over the middle? And the answer to that question is it's not enough to simply shade inside. You also need to shade your coverage down if you want a full effect. You guys can see here by shading down and to the inside, now none of these routes over the middle are even getting close to open. There's just no separation anywhere. This is how you get the lockdown man. Now, keep in mind, obviously if we shade down and to the inside, potentially you could give up a corner route. But again, that's kind of why we like to keep the safeties over the top, because even if we shade down into the inside, if we were to audible or call a play with a corner route, you'll notice that because the safeties are over the top, they're going to be able to stop the sideline stuff. So just because you shade down and to the inside, as long as you have the safeties over the top, you really don't need to worry about the corner route. So like right here, we're going to call the same defense. Shade our coverage underneath and inside. We do underneath first and then inside. And you will see this corner route to Jerry Rice, it's not going to get open. First of all, it doesn't even have any separation. But if it did, we have a safety right there to make a play. Keep in mind, that's Jerry Rice. I got Sauce there. I would say Jerry Rice is a better item than Sauce. Still got completely bagged. So those are the first two tips. Now the last tip you're going to want to utilize is adding zone drops into your man coverage. So this is best utilized when you're blitzing, when you're playing off man coverage. Now when you're playing shaded down to the inside man with the safeties over the top, you don't really want to use too much zone drop, because really what you're going to want to do is just keep the safeties over the top to protect for the streaks, the deep posts, and the corner routes, any sort of big plays. However, if you're going to blitz, if you're going to play that off man, you definitely need a zone drop. And so what I like to do when I'm playing this off man press coverage is I'm going to set my curl flats to 10, my hooks to 10, and my flats to 30. And I'm going to explain why I do this in a second here. But let's call spinner, because that's a perfect example of how to utilize off man. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to set an audible here. I would just want to play with a good corner route. So we're going to go, we'll just put Z-spot back in there. Z-spot's a good corner route. All right, so what we're going to do, again, when we're in spinner, is utilize the off-man coverage. You guys see I'm keeping my defenders off. And also my zone drops and my shading. So first of all, if I am in spinner, I know that I have no safeties over top. That means I cannot shade underneath. However, I can shade inside and outside. Now, because I can't shade underneath too, we need to do more. Simply shading underneath, shading to the inside or outside without shading underneath is not enough. So the way we're going to be able to make this better is by using our zone drops. So let's just give you an example here. Let's say that I'm getting beat by a slant route over the middle of the field. What I can do is I can put, let's audible to Z-spot. I can put a defender on the side of the field. I'm getting beat with a slant route into a curl flat, because remember, that's going to be at a 10-yard depth. So I put Sauce right here. I put him in a curl flat. He's going to be able to defend that for me very well. Now say I'm getting beat by a corner route. Well, what I can do is put an outside corner on the side of the field that I'm getting beat by a corner route on. I could put that guy into a cloud flat, and because he's backed up, he will get back there. And then what I need to do is I need to man up the uncovered receiver. So this is how it's going to end up looking right here. With this type of blitz, I would be responsible for the running back. However, that's why you want to use these tips from a cover zero blitz, is because when you're running these blitzes, you pretty much know that they're going to block the running back, right? They're not going to send the running back out consistently if you're sending, some sort of pressure at them. They're most likely going to keep him in. So you guys can see here, first of all, he didn't really even have time to get anything open. But if you take a look at the replay, because this spinner defense is fire pressure, there was nobody open. I was able to use my cloud flat adjustment. I was trying to get away from the splits here because it was coming fast. But you guys see, I use this cloud flat adjustment to make sure that there's a DB waiting for the corner out. Then I had that curl flat kind of sitting at the 10-yard depth in case the slant route got open, which it didn't. And then I was just able to kind of free roam and use the middle of the field. There was really nothing for me to guard here. Completely locked up. At the same time, you might be worried sometimes about, post routes. Sometimes you're worried about drag routes. There's all sorts of different routes that could potentially beat you. So like here, if we're worried about getting beat over the middle into the flat, again, we can set up the same little blitz. And you oftentimes might want to drop a guy into the deep middle. So if I'm worried about posts, I could put this blitzer into a middle third, and then I could go ahead and bluff my blitz and not even blitz anybody. I could just rush 3. So by doing this, I can easily say, you know what? We're going to bluff the blitz. We're not even going to blitz, But it is very important when you do this to make sure your user's on a blitz angle, because the game, when it thinks you're blitzing 4, gives you a lot better sheds than if you're blitzing 3. If you're blitzing 3, you're not going to get sheds, and you'll also have less success in the run game. So make sure that even when you're rushing 3, that you always keep your user on a blitz angle to be safe. So like right here, Chancer, he's going to take away like the deep post over the middle. That's why we have him there. And then we have a curl flat on each side of the field at 10-yard depth to kind of take away those slants, quick flat routes. So with these zone drops, I know I can use curl flats to take away like quick flats, whips, slants, etc. Or I could use like a actual cloud flat to take away a deep corner, deep crosser, etc. Then if I'm worried about the middle, I can just put a sub linebacker into middle third. Now, when I'm doing this, I can still use shading in or out. If I'm going to use the middle of the field, I probably will shade outside just because I know I have the middle myself. If I'm basically setting up a defense to stop a corner route like I did before, and I'm no longer worried about the corner route because I know I have a zone to take it away, then I'll shade inside because I know, I have help on the corner route, so I can shade inside to, help more on drags and slants and posts and all that. So using all these tips, in a combination is going to be your most effective. So you guys can see there is nothing open once again. We play great defense. If you take a look at the replay, you'll see that our middle third was able to take away the post on its cut. It's not open. And then our 2 curl flats were able to help out on the sidelines again. Nothing is really open here. You might have could try to throw this route to Bo Jackson later in the play. It's questionable. It kind of had a weird break to it. There was really nothing for me to guard, but I just kind of helped out on the post just in case they threw it. But double coverage, we got one guy in, one guy out. It's not open. I mean, just flat out amazing man coverage. So I hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to smash that like button. Until next time, it's your boy Duke, and I'm out of here.